Good evening, everyone. How are you this evening? I hope that you were able to find yourself here. I see there are a few of you in the room. My name is Maria Saldaña. I'm coordinator here at the Center for the Visual Performing Arts, and I thank you so much for your patience. We had a bit of a technology setback at Suitland High School, so with Wi-Fi today, so I had to make a transition to another location, mainly home, and that took a little bit with traffic. So thank you for being patient and for being here this evening. So our purpose for this evening, most of you have either attended an open house or have we've met at a recruiting event. And so our purpose for this evening is mostly to have you speak or have you listen to parents, students, and faculty so that you can get your questions answered that you might not have been able to get from either me or whatever event was it that you attended. The CVPA program is a very rich, culturally diverse, amazing experience for the young people who take it on, and because of that, it's very involved and it's very nuanced, and so all of the components of it are very difficult to encapsulate in any one conversation. But I hope that through the window of time that you've been looking at the program and attending events and asking questions, sending me emails, that you're getting a clearer picture. But even with that, even after you've done all the research and you've spoken to everyone that you can speak to, there still will come a time when for the student who choose to take this challenge on, they can make it their own experience. So you can only hear about experiences that other people have had, but really what we want is for students to come here and make this their own, and create something new that we haven't seen before. And so this is why we want to make sure that you have access to all the angles and all the different stories that can be told about the program. Tonight I want to share with you some performances. If you haven't already perused our YouTube channel, which we're currently in, we have at least 4 other versions. We started doing these during the pandemic for obvious reasons, because we couldn't get out to the schools, and we found out that this was something that's actually a strength, because we're able to reach many more people, and then we're able to have documentation of it for future interested folks to see. So if you find this interesting this evening, would you like to see more, you can look at our channel and see events such as this from previous occasions. So some of them are called VPA Showcase, some of them are called Open House, and they're called different things, but they're all the live events. They're the live streaming events, but they have the same purposes, which is to create clarity of what it is that happens at CVPA and what can happen for young people who are truly committed to their craft. And so I want to start us off with a performance from last year. So now I'd like to turn our attention to um, a topic that I get a lot of questions about, and that is the academic programs and how does it. Oh, I think I'm getting some music. Let me turn that off. Hold on. So the academic program and how does that come together with the arts? And so I'm going to let me see if it's going to take me over there. Here we go. I'd like to talk about how both the CVPA program and the academic program come together. And so what I'm showing you on the screen here is basically the course of study for the program. And if you follow it from left to right, you will see that there is the ninth grade year, the 10th grade year, 11 and 12. So then what happens if a student enters the program during their ninth grade year, during their 10th grade year? Every student starts in level one. And so then as they matriculate higher into the program, if they do the work to kind of catch up, then that we can make that a transition. But if not, 3 years is sufficient time for the students to be able to prepare for the college experience, which is our main goal and objective. The teachers always work with the students to make sure that they're not behind in being able to do the college level work or the college level auditions. And so that's the thing. So I belabor the point. So going to the left to right. So if you look at the first major, which is music band. So for the ninth grade, students will take their academic classes, of course, and then the academics are not specifics to any student. So the academics are at the level that students are. So if a student comes in ready for algebra, or if they already had algebra, then they're ready for geometry. And if they already had geometry, then they're ready for algebra 2. So every student is on their own trajectory as far as the academics go. But then within the program, for a ninth grader who is in the band, they would take applied band 9, which is their private lesson. They would take piano theory 1, which is where they learn about the actual theory and the important aspect of music and how to compose music and how to note their music. And then advanced band, which is the actual playing. So if you think about it from a perspective of the iceberg, when you come to a concert, what you're seeing is the very tip of the iceberg, which is what you will see in the advanced band. But underneath that, you will see hold on just a second. Underneath that, you will see a lot of the information that that goes into the actual performance or creating that performance. And so it's really, really important that the students understand that if they have an interest in this field, that this is not only for, let me come back in here. This is not only for people who are mildly interested, right? It's for people who have a deep interest, and that, I feel like I'm just talking into the void. Here we go. Students that have a deep interest and who are willing to do all of that work that nobody sees on stage, because the applied music and the piano theory, all of that happens off stage, right? And so then as the years pass and the students matriculate, you can see that the courses just get more and more rigorous. And then beginning their junior year, students have the opportunity to take AP classes in their selected major for CVPA. And then it continues pretty much the same way for each of the majors. So if you're looking at the credits, for instance, I mentioned in previous conversations that students need 23 credits to graduate high school. And because the CVPA program does not want to take any spots for classes that students may want to explore, such as, I don't know, psychology or entrepreneurship, then we extend the school day so that they're able to do the full high school experience, as well as, fulfill the requirements of the program. And so I'll slow it down so that you can kind of see how the classes align for each of the majors. But it's pretty involved. I mean, there are some college degrees or minors that do not have this much this many credits. And so students are really majoring, and it is a serious endeavor for the students who become part of the program. And by the way, I did mention it before, but if you have any questions as we go along, don't hang on to them. Go ahead and type them in the comments, and I'll be able to address them as we go along. If any questions about anything that we're talking, we'll have a Q&A as well. But that way, no one's questions go unanswered. Okay. I want to now transition a little bit to visual arts because we were just joined by one of our visual arts major, Emily Savovich, who is going to speak about the ninth grade experience. Okay, and I'm going to add Emily to our conversation. Welcome, Emily. Welcome to the show. It's not technically a show, but to kind of to introduce Emily, Emily is in the ninth grade. Where did you go to middle school, Emily?
I went to Gwynn Park Middle School,
Okay,
and
okay. And how did you learn about CVPA?
well, I learned, I think, partially through research, and I also learned from a counselor who sent me a slideshow with a multitude of programs.
Okay. And what about it sparked your interest?
I was really interested in visual arts and I wanted to pursue it professionally. And I was looking for a way that could help me get the skills that I needed to be able to do that. So I looked at CVPA and I thought that would be a great opportunity for me.
So, how is your ninth grade year going? How is that going so far?
I would say it's going pretty well so far, though it can get a little bit difficult with all the classes, but I think it's worth it.
That could not be understated, overstated. The transition from a middle school experience to a extended school day high school experience is a lot of work. And what do you say? What do you say to students who think they can do that and also play a sport or do something after school?
Well, if you're taking CVPA, I don't know about sports. You're definitely going to have to talk to the person in charge with that because I at some point even thought about going into a sport, but I had to reconsider because it was every
Hmm.
day and it would get in the way of CVPA. So if you're interested in sports and want to do CVPA, you might want to have to talk through and like see because sometimes the schedule can interfere with CVPA schedule.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so transparency. Emily and I did not discuss this in advance, and I did not know that she had considered a sport. But I always tell students, I always tell parents, it's not that you can't do sports or you can't do an extracurricular activity. It really is that life is about choices. And so what Emily says so key is that she considered it, but she realized that her focus is CVPA. And so she did not want to do anything that would hamper that or that would get in the way of her goal. So that's a correct mindset for that. I also want you to talk about what about how about the ninth school experience in general? In addition to the all the extra classes. Oh, you're participating in an AP class. We're piloting something. How is that going?
So for AP Computer Science, I would say it definitely started off a lot simple, and the teacher is actually probably one of the most I would say she's probably I wouldn't say lenient, but I would say more forgiving. Like
Mm.
you don't have to feel pressured about turning it in on time or else you get a zero. But I would say the work is definitely starting to get harder and if you're not paying attention, you're going to have no clue what's happening. Like I've had my friends look over at my work and be like, "What the heck is this?" And they look and it's just like they have no idea what I'm doing. And
Well, Well, I would say that given that you started in the class late because we had to change your schedule, and given that you took on the challenge because it's not a lot of students that would take on the ninth AP in their ninth grade year. The other thing about that is that it satisfies your academic your credit for tech education, tech foundations of tech, and so those are win-win-win. Talk to me about your involvement with college track. What is that, and what is it going to do?
Well, my experience with college track is that I found it out through one of my classmates, Chelsea, who's a sophomore, and she got into the program, and she was already in it, and she told me about it. Actually, I think it was multiple sources, but I decided that it would really help like enhance my ability to find colleges, and I thought it would be a really good way to open doors and be able to get into a college that I really want to. And I thought that like having both CVPA and college track would really help me find a good college
Mhm.
that I can afford and make sure that I don't get into student debt or any of that.
So imagine thinking about that at what were you 14, 13?
I'm 15.
Oh, 15. So my last question to you is what would you say to younger you from a year ago? What would you say to Emily at Gwen Park who is like, what am I going to do for high school? What would you say to her now?
Well, I would say that I remember at that time I actually thought that I was not going to get in and I wanted to like reconsider like
Hmm.
so I would definitely tell her to go do it and that it was definitely worth it. And I would also tell her not to try to do too many things at once and learn to prioritize more. And I feel like with that, my experience would have been less stressful with the
Hmm.
interview because I had so many things going on at that time because I was trying to do way too much.
Oh, that's an interesting point. So how about when you created your how much time did it take you to create your portfolio for your audition?
Whew, well, it was around December time. It was not, I didn't do it last minute,
Oh, okay.
but it was getting close to the deadline. I think I had like 2 weeks or so. So
Okay.
the pressure was definitely on to get it done in time. It was it was kind of difficult because like I was trying to do the best that I possibly could, and
Okay.
I specifically picked hard things. Like I remember at some point I was like standing outside. It was really cold, and I was drawing a car for one of the homework assignments, and it was really cold outside, so I'd have to go out and draw the car. I mean, I could have probably picked something easier, but I wanted to do the car, so
You like a challenge.
yes, exactly.
I understand
And
that. That makes sense to me.
yes, and I personally would like advice wise for your portfolio is I would definitely like you should when it comes to the homework assignments for visual arts at least because that's
Hmm.
what I know. Um, when you get to choose your own, definitely pick ones that have meaning to you and
Hmm.
like something that the teachers can see, and definitely pick the ones that represent you the best because that's what the teachers are going to be seeing and that's how they'll get to know you at first before they have the audition with you.
I'd never thought about that. That makes perfect sense. We usually are so focused on making sure that it's of the level and that it's not cartoon. But that's good feedback. That's good advice as well. Well, Emily, thank you so much for tuning into the show. And I didn't tell you in the email, but this is also this is service learning hours. So yay! This is part of that. And so I'll see you at the bus stop. Like not the
Okay,
bus stop, but waiting for the bus. Have a
thank
good
you.
evening and tell your mom I said thank you.
Okay, I would like to give one last piece of advice.
Sure.
This isn't CVPA related, but it is definitely something that you should do. I suggest getting all of your service hours done during your freshman year. That is like the prime time when they have like all the opportunities. You do not want to be in your senior year and like have like 24 hours you need to get done and you're like rushing to do little side hustles while also trying to get all your applications for colleges done and your
Uh huh.
SATs. It's not a good idea. Get them all done your freshman and sophomore year.
I couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you, Emily.
No
and
problem.
I'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Alrighty,
Bye.
bye bye.
Best of luck to all the CVPA applicants.
Awesome. I mean, I have the best job, honestly. And so from that, I'm going to transition us to a little bit of music, and then we're going to talk to some music folk. Where is my music? That was Ashley, class of 2019. And she finished, no, she's finishing college this year. And just an amazing, amazing pianist and all around academic student. Up next, we're going to do something a little different because we're going to talk about music. And so I want to invite Mrs. Wilson, who is the parent of Messiah, and I want you to hear from a parent's perspective about what it's like to take on the challenge of CVPA for the purposes of nurturing a creative. So, Mrs. Wilson, can I bring you on? Yes. Okay. And then after that, I'm going to bring our stellar band director, Mrs. Williams, who is going to join the conversation, and maybe we can have them both have a conversation because that'd be interesting. Hello,
Hello,
Miss
everyone.
Wilson. Welcome, welcome. How are you today?
I'm doing good, doing awesome. Thank you for the opportunity to share and to serve at this opportunity today. So, I'm Messiah Smith's mom, everyone, and Messiah is a junior band major at Suitland. Um, he has been in the arts since birth, technically. He's been in the arts since elementary, coming from Benjamin D. Floyd's Performing Arts Academy,
Mm-hmm.
and then coming out of middle school out of Benjamin D. Floyd's, and then again into Suitland. So for us, my experience was really keeping him on the track to continue to expand his music ability, but also to give him as many opportunities as possible. He has been academically, he has thrived, but there are times where we have hit hurdles along the way. And when I say hurdles, that means Messiah's pattern. Normally, at the beginning of the year, he may start off a little slower, meaning um, he has a high GPA, but he may have trouble in some of those classes adjusting, getting back into the day to day. He walks across the campus. He has classes in the main building, and then also in the annex. And so he does a lot of walking back and forth. And so he'll tell me that he's so exhausted by the end of the day. I just try to make sure that he's nourished, that he's well fed. That's one of the things that I would suggest for parents. Regarding your students who are music majors, because also you have to consider the fact that their music ability. Messiah plays the trombone and the tuba, and he's very winded at times where he needs to stay hydrated. So that's one thing to consider. In regards to his academics, he has taken AP classes, advanced courses. I was told very early on that some of his teachers made a recommendation that he be challenged and pushed in addition to his music ability. So he does have a harder curriculum in addition to the music curriculum. So he takes, I think it's about 9 classes on average per semester. He has completed all his community service hours already, because he does volunteer when the band is playing or serving at the school capacity. And so there are times where he'll say, "Well, Mom, I may be home a little late today, or I need you to come and pick me up a little later today." So going past the 4:45 time slot, because he may be serving at a concert or volunteering. He also is a participant in the college track program, and he's been in there since ninth grade. And so, again, he has to learn. He had to learn, and he's still learning. This is a process of time management and stress management through it all. And those are things that you really have to be mindful of when you're raising a child that's a musician. I'm speaking on my behalf regarding him, because this junior year has been the busy season for us. The first 2 semesters. I mean, we kicked off really strong starting in October, and from there we have been on. Messiah takes private lessons in addition to his private lessons that he gets from the school. And then he's also in a jazz band, and so there's so many opportunities. I would highly recommend, as you see opportunities that come forth, the Miss Williams, Miss Aldania will share opportunities with you as parents. Please take advantage of that. If you are not able to financially afford it, ask for a scholarship, ask for financial assistance, because a lot of times there are opportunities that are available, and then there are waived fees for you if you're not able to meet the financial requirements. I would highly recommend that, especially for summer programs. Messiah did 4 summer camps this summer at various locations. We went as far as Jackson, Mississippi this summer. That just passed, and so we are already planning for his summer for this year forthcoming before we enter into the senior year, and that does include college visits and viewing music programs. And so the other thing that I would say to this is that because a lot of the performing arts students have been on that track for quite some time, there programs that are available, there's opportunities that are available, but also there are colleges that are already starting to view your students and look at their music ability. And so be mindful of that, and try to also teach your children how to respond to various questions that may impact their future. I would definitely recommend that. Almost do like a mock interview with them. Also, watch social media. I know our kids are in the time of social media, but they can have a personal page and a band page or music page. Make a distinction between the two, if that's something that you are allowing your child to do, and just really, really stay engaged. If it's something that I don't know, I would gladly send an email and I will inquire because I don't know it all. But sometimes I may get an alert or some type of email from a friend or someone in the community saying, hey, I think Messiah should participate in this. And I may take it back to one of his teachers or just ask Miss Williams in general, Miss Williams, can you help me with this? Or, did we miss an opportunity? So they will gladly share the information. So those are just some tips that I would recommend in regards to your students.
Thank you. And so I want to ask you about we have seen Messiah go through a journey in the last year, and I want you to speak a little bit about the highs and the lows of that journey, if you could, because sometimes when part of what happens with growth is that it's hard, and just like when children are growing, their bodies hurt. It's the same with this level of growth. When they're growing, sometimes they don't feel as confident, especially when they feel like they're not the best. And so shepherding them through that, both on the home front and then the school front, is really the thing that makes this program magical, and that ends up being a lifesaver in a way for a lot of kids who find who they are. So when we say like find yourself in the arts, that's exactly what we mean. But I'm gonna delete myself from this conversation, and I'm gonna add his teacher, his amazing teacher, Ms. Williams, and so you guys can have that conversation together. Hi, Ms. Williams. Welcome to the program. Can you hear us? We can't hear you.
Yeah, we can't hear you, Miss Williams.
All right, can you?
Yes.
Maybe I need.
Okay, I hear you now.
Yep, we can hear you now.
Okay.
No, I can hear you.
So,
So
go ahead.
So, some wonderful advice has been shared by one of our own parents, and um, I like to say that although it's challenging, it's actually never too early for students when it comes to the arts. There's often the expectation on the collegiate level that um, your child has had years in the arts. Um, the VPA CVPA program is unique is that it really is a great equalizer for some of our students. A lot of times students start lessons in elementary school, middle school, and starting lessons in high school is what we call sometimes behind the ball, but the curriculum is set in a way that they are actually really being treated as a fine arts major and a specific a band major, it is very reminiscent of the schedule that I myself in my first year of college experienced. So students often ask, "Will I have to take these classes? Will I have to take music theory? Will I have to take piano?" And I'm like, "Those are all the classes that your music teachers, every music teacher you've ever had in your life in public school, has had to go the same course. So you're getting it's not even a preview. It really is what your first 2 semesters in college would be like. And often our students coming from CVPA programs are ahead of the game when it comes to college. They're usually in their theory classes, and sometimes they're bored in the theory class, or they get to test out and have credits in advance to those of their peers because they had those classes in high school. So it's not like a baby down version of what it is to be a music major. It is exactly what it is to be a music major, minus and I can't even say minus academic courses because if they're taking advanced place courses like Messiah, it is exactly how that freshman year will be. Often the biggest transition to the university, I also teach on a university level, is that our students aren't exposed early enough for those type of classes. They have not had private lessons. They have not had music theory and piano and those type of courses that can be very difficult for someone coming into a music program in college. So it is not something you will get in a regular comprehensive program. It is just not. And I know a lot of people are like, well, this school's band is great. Yeah, but when if you're considering being a music major in college, they care about the individual musician. Comprehensive programs are designed to have a performing ensemble. The musicians in the ensemble might be on varying levels and they don't get that what we call that attentiveness that you would get in a VPA program and having some of the country's best musicians working with your scholar for free. Um, on average, most private lessons are fifty to $75 an hour now. Um, all you have to do is just show up, and your schedule is allotted that you can have private lessons during the daytime and not after school like a lot of students in high school and earlier have to do. So, the VPA program. I mean, I completely wish I had it. I'm a product of Prince George's County Public Schools. Um, my band directors did the best they could, but there was nothing like being a first year college student in music where all of my academic career was focused on, ELA and math and science and social studies. And now I'm in a major where they're like, okay, yeah, that's all the things that got you here, but you're going to study music. It's different, is a big difference from being in an ensemble and playing music to studying music. So our students study music on the level that they would need to in the collegiate level. I don't know, Miss Miss Wilson, would you agree that this is kind of reminiscent of things that you've been told, even with partnerships like University of Maryland's PAIN program and other things Messiah has experienced?
Yes, it requires a lot of practice and a lot of time and effort in the music. One of the things Messiah always talks about is sight reading. You know, they put a piece of paper in front of you, a music sheet in front of you, and you have to know it. You have to know how to play it. Messiah has been fortunate enough to participate in honor bands where you get a 24-hour to 48-hour max with the music. And then you play and you're producing the music. So I would definitely say that I mean, even with that, when you think about that, it goes to show the level of knowledge that's needed and the retention that's needed to retain it, to learn it, but to retain it and to be consistent at it. You know, that's something that I can definitely say I've seen his growth. Um, you know, even when he traveled to go to another state, when he went to Mississippi to a total different style of program, the level of knowledge that he had obtained here at Suitland, when he went down to the South, there were people next to him that couldn't play the note, that couldn't read the music or anything. And for him, again, this is somebody who has been a music major, so he's responding different. It's frustrating to him, like you can't read that, you don't understand. That's a quarter note, or he's calling it out to them, letting them know, and they're just like, no, I don't know what that is. So I mean, he definitely has been very knowledgeable, and at times it can be rigorous. I feel like there's highs and lows in it. Yeah, at times, yes. Because he can peak and perform and then come out of it and go back to practicing and or just reading the music or studying the music.
So if I could join this conversation here for just a moment. Oh, it's three of us now.
Yeah.
Um, can so recently Messiah received a very distinct honor. Can you guys speak about that?
Yes, so Messiah was selected to be in the Maryland All-State Band on tuba. He will be representing Prince George's County. He was the only student from Prince George's County that made it into that band. And so we're really excited about that. Miss Williams, as his teacher and instructor, that same day she had a college fair where students were auditioning on site. But when it came time for Messiah to perform, by the time he walked out that door, she was right there to greet him. So I think that speaks volume to, again, the dedication as the director of the program to make sure that her students, she went from one end of the state. She was in Virginia earlier that morning. And then to be in
Wow.
Maryland by the time he walked out that door. So I just, again, I think that's so amazing
Mm.
and such dedication. And, there are times where, you don't hear stories like that. But Messiah has, again, he's been able to excel and to really grow, but he's also been stretched. I have a lot of talks with him about pushing through and persevering and being resilient. There have been times when Messiah has wanted to quit, you all totally said, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore, I've had enough, mom, this is it. And I would say, to him, I've always asked him, I never asked him to give me an A or to get an A. I've always asked him to give me his best. And so what I mean by that is, when I asked him, did you give me your best? His best that day might be 65%. He might not be 100% every day. But if he tells me that he gave it his best and he's done his best, that's what I accept as his mom. Because again, it's a lot of pressure on him. He's in a world where he has to manage everything that's going on in the school, and then things that go on in our personal lives. Um, this is the year that I became a caretaker, for my dad, which impacted our entire world. Messiah was, he was just totally like stretched mentally, like, okay, mom, what else is going on, and so just trying to manage that. And then, his music ability, sometimes as a musician, he has an urge to play, and he has a sound in his head and a song, or he wants to get it out. It could be in the wee hours of the morning. When I carried him, he kept me up pretty late at night, so it's still the routine that it was when he was in my belly. That has not changed. So it's the weirdest times of night that he's playing a full concert or a sound or song or something.
To
But
be
one thing I
fair,
can say,
to be
go
fair, he
ahead.
did warn you. He warned you in the very
He did.
beginning.
He did. He did.
Okay.
But also to that, Messiah has the ability now And we this is something we do in the car. Like we could be driving somewhere and he'll say, that is not the original. That's a sample. And he'll play the original song and I'll be like, "Oh my gosh, I never knew that." Like he's teaching me. So he has an ear now where he recognizes certain rhythms and patterns and songs. Like he just did this with the Mariah Carey Christmas song. I was like, "No way. No way. That's Mariah Carey." He's like, "I'm going to play." He said, "This is a piece of Rick James song. I'm gonna play it for you." And then he connected the dots. I was like, "Oh my gosh!" So it's like things like that. I didn't know that he would know something like that, or just
Mm-hmm.
even explore it. But those are the things that I can say. I'm just really proud of him as his mom. He has worked extremely hard to get to where he is right now, but also to all of the teachers who have dedicated their time to him. The same day that he received the acknowledgement and recognition, accepting the honor band, I mean, the All State band, he did get into the University of Maryland honor band. He does participate, and
Wow.
he is a part of Fame Jazz Band. When he first auditioned for Fame in junior high school, he did not get in. Crushed his little heart. He was so sad.
Mm-hmm.
Came back, had to encourage him. Now he auditions. He went there to their summer camp. He auditioned and then he made it in. And so it's like you got to really get them to understand that sometimes even when you audition, you might not get it the first go round. It might not be your time or your season, but stick to it. Because you will this season will come, but the timing will come where it makes sense and it all
Mm-hmm.
works together. I did receive an email from his junior high school teacher, Mr. Knox, who was congratulating him. Mr. Knox is out of Anne Arundel County right now, but he was the teacher who switched Messiah from trumpet to tuba.
Okay.
So he was so proud when he saw the all state results and Messiah name was there. So just really excited about where he's going and the things that he wants to do.
That's phenomenal. And so, for a parent who is right now, who you were 3 years ago, I think it was about 3 years ago, what do
Mhm.
you say, as far as making a decision or things to consider?
I would say to a parent, please do not look at the school or taking the reputation of the school. Sometimes people say, "Well, oh, I don't want to send my kid to that school." That's the first thing. Okay, do not put your kid in the category where you're assuming that your kid are with other kids. Your kid will be with kids that are like-minded, that have the same abilities and capacities that they have. That's what's most important. So you want them to go into the program and the track that you have always had them on, or that you're gearing them to. Messiah has been in the music world since he was a small child in elementary school, and that's important. I know a lot of times you consider the fact that you say, "Well, I have to think about all of my day to day." They have an extended day, and so it is going to require some scheduling. Working with the fact that they don't have a regular school day like everybody else. So it might mean that you need to have some snacks, or breakfast or protein shakes along the way,
Mhm.
in addition to fruit snacks. So I'm just saying these things because these are things to consider. But as a parent, if you want the best for your child, this is a great opportunity for you to do that. Miss Williams is an excellent, excellent teacher. I mean, quite honestly, I love the fact that I get to look at the concert sessions with the kids. Like we get to look at it through our phone as a parent. So I'm always in the group chat looking to see what's next. That's just me, because when that little chime goes off, I can sit in on the class like everybody else is in the class. And those are great opportunities for parents to know, to become aware. Like you can absorb and learn as well as parents. So those are things that I would definitely recommend. And I would say the last thing to this would always be, make sure that you continue to explore. Don't get stuck and stable where you say, "Oh no, they're going to tell me they're going to do this." No, ask questions. Go back and see if there's something else that could be done, if there's another opportunity. Become sociable with the teachers, get involved, get engaged, because what happens a lot of times is when opportunities come up, they will select your kid and say, hey, can you do this video, can you do this for us, because we need you. And again, that gives your child exposure, but it also is teachable moments for them, because it works on their communication skills, it works for their audition ability, their interviewing skills. Those are things that they need in the long run, so it works for everyone.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And I tried to show a picture of Messiah since we've been talking about him. So I'm going to see if I can bring him on the screen really quickly. Okay, this is the
Oh,
two
he's
of
right here.
you.
He would gladly jump on the screen. Come on, because he want to get on the screen. Y'all know he
This
want to say hello.
this is the two of you at the showcase this fall. We were at where were we? At Flowers High School. Flowers High School.
Yeah,
Okay.
Flowers High School.
Messiah's around there?
Yeah, come here, Messiah. First he wanted to wave and say hello. Then he took.
Messiah, we don't need a whole directorial screen change. You could have just popped your head in. Bye, Messiah.
Also, keep in mind that these are teenagers, so the hormones are changing, attitudes are adjusting, and you have to, again, you have to tighten up as parents and check them every now and then. Remind them that you're still my
Right.
child.
Right. Okay, now okay. Thank you. I wanna give Miss Williams the screen to do a pitch for prospective students who are
Yeah,
interested in
no problem.
becoming her students. Can I do that, Miss Williams?
Absolutely.
Great.
Yes.
Thanks again, Miss Wilson.
Thank
You
you
know,
all. Have
I
a great day.
So I think what's really important to know is that the audition process is something that your child will go through in many facets of life. It is not just about auditioning for music as much as in life that this is a soft skill. You're gonna interview all the time. You're gonna have college interviews. You're gonna have scholarship interviews. So don't let the idea that it is an audition deter you from, or even your child let it deter them from trying, because often auditions are not meant for perfection. It's meant to show potential. Um, and so nobody is looking for perfection in auditions. They're looking for the potential to grow. They're looking for those things that you might not think is going well, or even your child might not know is going well for them musically, that actually is. And with like a little more guidance and shaping, it can be well. We're looking always for people who are teachable. Um, because if a student already believes that they are the best that they can be, then there is no reason for a CVPA program or anything that would develop them. But it's never the case. There's always space for growth, and that them coming into a program of such is meant to grow them. As far as management of time, I'm a mother. I have a 13-year-old who's going to be going to high school. One thing that I think is sometimes a tragedy is that you think that your child is involved in too many things, when the reality is um, teenagers are involved in something. Um, that something can be good or bad. This is a lot of good. So even if it seems like, well, I want them to have downtime in their life, what they're learning is a key skill is um, time management, and how to manage their time, and how to have multiple tasks that are on them. But the reward when they've done the work is so priceless, to see students so happy at their achievement and how far they've come, and they see their growth. Um, and that's not something that you would get in a regular comprehensive program. And that's not something that, again, you'll just get joining a band and having a band director. There's a certain level of dedication you have to have as a administrator, as a teacher for this type of program. The day is longer, but it's no different than what I say students staying after school for marching band in a comprehensive program, or staying Friday night games. It's the same amount of time, except this time it's all instructional. It's all geared to make them a better musician. And You have some of the best teachers. Like, don't take Suitland as this is a place where there's nothing good happening. I'm from Prince George's County. I grew up in Fort Washington. Um, Notoriously, when I was in college at Morgan, all of the best musicians from Prince George's County was from Suitland. I'm in a music fraternity. All of my sisters that are vocalists, and only 20 some years ago, but all of the students that thrive in the local universities, I teach at UMBC, they are coming from Suitland. When we talk about performing art, they are coming from Suitland and they are eons ahead of their peers. And the top dollar scholarships are going to our students, and the grants and the traveling opportunities are going to our students because it is a state of the art program. Um, and so much so, there's a reason why there's a new building coming. There's a reason why there's going to be a new fine arts center for CVPA. It's because the work has already been done and the product has already been proven. We just need the facility to match the type of instruction that the students are receiving and to match the talent that the students are bringing. So if you are a parent and you're trying to figure out, should I do this? As a college professor, um, our students are just way more prepared. They're just way more prepared. And they're often the ones who are the leaders when they come in the door. And it awards so many opportunities for them that they just would not get. Um, and sometimes we look at the school as an indicator of the opportunity instead of looking at the opportunity um, that is is what's really making the change. Um, I never worry about the building as much as I worry about the the brains inside the building. And the brains inside of the building of Suitland CVPA program are brilliant. They are remarkable above um, any group of kids I've ever taught. Um, I live in Baltimore. I drive an hour and a half to work because these students are the students who are going to be the next me and greater than me and beyond because they have that much talent and they just need um, the right environment to thrive in. That's all I have to say.
That is perfectly stated, because it's one of those things where it's not until you see it, and oftentimes, because, as you were stating, how the students that come out of Suitland are the students that you're seeing at the university level who are leading, and that's happening outside of our immediate area. We can't point to it, right? Not always, but every once in a while. And the best thing about my job is that I do get an overview of the program right now, and I get an overview of the program once the students are gone. And I get amazing emails. And today I received an email from the parent. Let me see if I can bring it on the screen. Give me a second. From a parent of this young lady. Her name is Phoenix Miranda. And Phoenix, this is Phoenix. Phoenix was a vocal major who went on to, what did the mom say? Let me see if I can bring that on the screen. Because sometimes it's actually better when you can see it with your own eyes. Let's see, current application, secondary display. Is that it? Can I see that? Can you see secondary display?
No.
Oh, maybe because I have this picture on there. Oh, there it is. All right. So this is an email I received 9 hours ago from a parent of a graduate, and she wanted to let me know that her daughter is in an opera, as you do, and so she sent a flyer for the event, which is happening on Saturday, and you know we can't, while when she was here, Phoenix was selected for a lot of scholarships, and she got into nearly all of the schools she applied into. I don't think she paid for anything to go to school. And so, and Michigan State is not an easy, it's not an easy school to get in. And so, she did music and something else. I want to say business. And so what happens, as I was saying before, like the iceberg, what happens, what students are able to accomplish here, we won't you don't see all of it. And unfortunately, as has been stated before me, the negative things tend to suck up all the oxygen. And so it's really difficult to tell the story of a phoenix who went through school at Suland High School, who went to Michigan State on full scholarship, and is now seeking her finishing her master's degree, and is in an opera, and is consistently working, right, as a professional singer, a professional opera singer. And she's from Clinton. And so that's a very nuanced story to tell, but it's one that you need to know, because that could be your child, if his or her goal is to become an opera singer, right? But I want to point you to our website, because on our website there are other, let me see if I can get to it from here. Someone asked about College Track, so I pulled up the website. This is College Track. College Track is down the street from us, and they are a after school college preparatory program, college assistance program. Sorry, not preparatory. We're the preparatory program, and they help students find scholarships. They get them to think about, how to fund. They get field trips. They get fed. It's a phenomenal experience, and so each year, if you can think of us as the battery, like the program is the battery, and then they go to College Track, and then they figure out how much can they do with that battery, like what can they spend it. And so they're able to maximize their experience, by having professionals assist them, with the college application process and the college essay writing process. And so we have a number of students who are in the program, and we highly, highly recommend it. But the other thing I was going to show you is, if you go to our website, is this it? Yes. If you go to our website, there are a couple of things I want to bring your attention to, and we're going to end at 8:30 because I want to honor everybody's time. Miss Williams hasn't mentioned, but here's the flyer, or the announcement for our upcoming concert for band on Monday, then orchestra on Tuesday, and then chorus and piano on Wednesday. And you can access that flyer on our website. But I also, if you receive the announcement for this event from me, it was attached to that email, right? Um, and then tomorrow is the winter dance concert for dance tomorrow evening. Additionally, if you haven't already, spend some time on In the News. These are phenomenal stories about our students, who are currently doing or have done amazing things since they left Suland High School, since they graduated. And so it just kind of gives you an idea of, and this is just like a little bit of what exists, because we don't have access to everything that's happened, and not everything makes it onto the news. And that's a reality for us. Sometimes we have like amazing stories to tell, and we contact the news or the press about it, and the feedback is, we're really not doing stories about schools now. But if there was anything negative that happened at Suland High School, there would be an exception for doing stories about school that day. And so that's just the reality. But do take the time to go to look into these stories, and to be able to get a sense of what our students are up to. Oh, I was just talking. I was just talking about you, Mrs. Miranda. I was just showing your email, actually. Let me bring you into this conversation here. Let me see. Give me just a second. Clear the screen. This is so awesome. I was telling them about how, you know, the best part of my job is that I get these emails. And there you are. So I'm going to add you to my right. And so this is Mrs. Miranda. This is Phoenix's mom. And Mrs. Miranda is an amazing, amazing creative parent, because she is so supportive. And I asked her at the last minute, I was like, would you mind coming in and having a conversation with our parents? And she was like, because she's an amazing parent, here she is. And I know she's so busy. But talk to us about your baby. I'm gonna have you on the screen solo.
Okay, well, here's the deal. I am a second generation Suitland Center for the Visual and Performing Arts parent. So, this is part of why I'm so enthusiastic. I graduated from the very first class that started the Center for Visual and Performing Arts. So, of course, I'm going to love it. Of course, I'm going to be enthusiastic. And when I had opportunity to send my oldest daughter there, I had very good reason. I knew the program was strong. I knew that we had some really great structure, really great instructors, really great opportunities to just do creative things for the kids. And so, of course, I said, "Yes, you've got to go to Suitland." But Phoenix is a graduate of Michigan State University, and well, she graduated Suitland 2019, graduated from Michigan State University this spring, and she's in grad school now. So she went to Michigan State again for grad school. She's performing lots and lots in the cold weather of Michigan, and
Wow.
she's very excited to come back home to do a concert here in Washington, D.C. People have been asking for it. So I'm thrilled that she's going to do it for them because, we can't always get to Michigan to see her perform. So it's very exciting to be able to do that. She is a classical vocalist, but she loves to branch out into other genres. So the concert's going to be a little bit more of the other genres, I think. A little bit of soul, a little bit of perhaps an R&B sound. There might be a little bit of seemingly classical, but there's not going to be a lot of, standard. If you're coming expecting standard classical songs, it won't be that. It'll be a lot more festive holiday kind of excitement and enthusiasm.
That sounds like a wonderful show for the whole family.
Yay! Yes, 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 yes. So you can register on Eventbrite, and there's the QR code. There's a link that Miss Saldana has both
I'm
for.
gonna
So
put it. I'm gonna put the image back on the screen
okay,
for the QR code.
yay!
See
Oh,
if
you
I
might
can.
have to scroll. Can you? Oh, yeah, yeah. There it is.
There
Yep.
it is.
And it's very cool because there's a few people that are in Michigan with her, but they're all from the DC area. So, they have this sort of collaborative group that happens, when they get together, even when they're in Michigan. So
That
it's
is
nice.
wonderful.
Yeah.
So proud of her. She was always like such an amazing talent, all around A student, a constant presence on the honor roll list. I think on the principal's honor roll list
Oh,
too.
I
And
love it.
so, but that's not to say that she's not special. But I also want to say like
She
that's
worked hard.
that's yeah, that's not that rare for our students who come and take full advantage. And I would say the thing about Phoenix is that she made this a priority, and she had a lot of friends who did other things that played sports and were in SGA and other things that took a lot of time. But the thing about Phoenix, if it wasn't music, she wasn't in it. She wasn't around it.
Well, she did play volleyball. She did play volleyball, and there was a little bit of a struggle there, but
What year
music
was
always
that?
came first.
What year
She
was
did it
that?
for at least 2 years.
Really?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, it
I
was
did.
it was interesting.
Okay. She was an undercover volleyball player because anytime I saw her, it was only music.
Yes,
That's
yes.
phenomenal. So you, because you have this interesting trajectory of having been in the program and then having a child in the program, what do you say to a parent who today is like, yeah, but that was, you went to school a long time ago, and and because we did, and schools are different, or
We definitely did.
Sulan is different now, and so who may have who may be apprehensive, right? What do you say to a parent who may need to hear what that experience was like for Phoenix?
Yeah, well, the beautiful thing about the Center for Visual and Performing Arts is the fact that you've got this hub of creative classes that are happening. You're
Mm,
around other kids who have the same passion, the same drive that you do. And that's important. That is very, very important. And you don't get that everywhere.
right.
You really don't.
I
You
mean,
really don't get that everywhere.
the best part of my day is at the end of the day when I do the 440 buses, and when I'm just kind of ear hustling and listening to the conversations they're having, and they're like, they'll have arguments about composers, and it's like,
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
14-year-olds arguing about
Right.
composers is
This
the
is
world
not
that you want
every
to.
day.
Yes,
Right.
and then I think like I did something so right. I don't know what it was,
So
but
good.
this
It's
is
so good.
but this is what I get to listen to, and then
It's beautiful.
and so yeah, it's absolutely stunning. And then they also create because I know they keep in touch. They create their communities and they go forth and they stay in touch
Yeah.
and they become artists that support each other because the art world can be very lonely. And so having those connections and being able to call on your friends who understand what
Mhm.
you're going through, it's so very important. So it's a joy to watch from year
You're
to year.
right. And that's the thing, when the parents say, well, it's a different day and things are different from when we were in school, you're right. And we didn't have the benefit of social network and all
Right.
the things that the kids have to stay in contact with each other. I mean, that's the great thing about you can send an email, a text, a chat to somebody in California, New York, anywhere else that you might have gone to school with, and you're still connected with them. Whereas for us, it took a lot to kind of reacquaint ourselves. It took Facebook and maybe 10, 15, 20 years to connect with people that
Yes.
that we went to
Yes.
school with. So they don't
Right.
have that same issue. Networking is a whole different story for them, and they know how to make use of what they have
Yes.
in a whole new way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, tell Phoenix that her presence is missed and that she needs to come and show face.
Thank you.
And actually I don't know if do you have access to our photo album, the music photo album?
No, I want to see
I'm
it.
gonna send you the link to our digital photo album because I've been downloading photos from over the years, and luckily it all gets archived chronologically. So there's like a whole area where Phoenix is all over the place because she
I
was
love
always
it.
performing somewhere.
I
Remember when the
love
Miss
that.
America came? I think Miss America came and she sang
I
with her.
remember that. Yes.
Yeah, I have a
Yes.
whole video and clips and yeah
Wow.
from that. I was like, oh my gosh. I remember that. So yes, I'll send you the link so that you guys can
Okay.
reminisce. I know for her, it probably feel like it was 100 years ago. To me, it feels like it was the other day. But Miss Miranda, thank you so very much, and
Absolutely.
I will continue to promote this event, and
Thank
hopefully I'll
you.
get to see her perform myself sometime soon.
All right. Very good. Well, have a great one, everyone. Happy holidays.
Thank you, thank you. Have a good
You,
one as well.
you too. Take care.
You too. Bye bye. All right, guys. So I want to just kind of because I want to honor your time, and my intention was to be here to have you here till 8:30, but I also don't want to just kind of cut it off because there is more that I wanted to share with you, but I also didn't want to cut off our speakers who had, I think, very salient and great things to share. So I just kind of want to share a little bit about media arts. And so I'm going to drop in this little video, so bear with me.
I'm late. Mom, come on, we have to go.
What are you talking about? And why do you have your uniform on?
I have to go to school.
Today's Saturday.
Wait a minute. So you mean to tell me
I just got ready for nothing?
Pretty much. Now come over here and help me with these dishes. Where'd she go?
Yeah, man, that was a good workout.
I'm just sweating.
Yeah, I'm about to go ahead and get in the shower, though.
Let me get first shower.
Nah, I got somewhere to be.
So I got a date. youngest go first.
Long live the king.
Hello?
Hello? My name is Sam. I'm here to talk about your car's extended warranty.
No, you have the wrong number. I'm sorry.
I don't. Isn't your name Kendall?
I don't have a car. Yeah, can you take me off of your call log, please? Hello?
Shouldn't have hung up.
Is that a threat?
Kennedy, right?
Question, and it's an important question. The advantage of the CVPA program is that students get to be full students in a full high school. So they get to participate in all the things that are high school related. That includes sports, that includes being able to go to the dance or dances, SGA. Sometimes when students go to a specialty schools, they had to make a trade-off where they don't get access to some of those things. But in CVPA at Suitland, students have access to all of it. But as you heard Emily say earlier, time is of the essence because students are in school a very, very long day. And so that means that they start school at 8:30 and it ends at 4:50, pretty much 5 o'clock by the time the buses pull off. And so that by itself is just school. And so if we add an activity after 5, that means that they're in school till about 6, 7. They're not getting home till 8. And then they still have to eat food, eat dinner, decompress, do homework, and then they have to get up and do it all over again. And so you really, really want to think about that because you are taking on additional responsibility. And so what I would say is, I would never say never play a sport, but what I would say is give yourself at least a year to get on an honor roll list. And once you're on the honor roll list, then you can add another responsibility. And then once you see that you're starting to kind of not be, or if you see that your extra responsibility is turning into as affecting your academics, then drop it off. But although you only really need a 2.0 to be in the program, we don't recommend that any student be in the program and just managing a 2.0, because that's counterproductive to the goal, right? So the goal is for students to have a full scholarship out of the program. That's the goal. Does that always happen? No, but that's okay. But even if you get a partial, but the way that's going to happen is if you have a rigorous transcript with good grades and an understanding and showing of commitment. You meet the understanding and showing of commitment through the CVPA program because you're choosing to go to school longer hours. And so the colleges automatically give that a thumbs up of, okay, this student is serious and this student is likely to graduate from our school because they like going to school, right? But then if that is the case, but then the student has like a one, no, it wouldn't be a one something, but a 2 point something with a 10 credit schedule, that means that they're doing poorly somewhere. And so our goal is to never, ever, ever, ever have a student who has less than a 2.0 because they wouldn't be able to rate in the program, but really a 3.0, because the three or so classes in the arts that students take tends to cushion their GPA. And so although we don't do this, colleges might separate the two. And so if you separate the grades for the arts from the academics, and especially if you decide not to continue in the arts, right, which is a reality, and that can happen, and that's perfectly fine. But I'm belaboring the point. Time is of the essence, and you only have so much of it. So I would say for the first year or two, I would not recommend any extracurricular activities that are not aligned with, like if you were like in an after school activity where you're getting assistance with homework assistance, like a college track or something like that, that's different because that's an after school activity that is aligned with your goals. But anything that is distracting from your goals, I would highly not recommend. And that's whether you go to Siouxland High School or whether you go anywhere else, because the research shows that for a student who falls behind their freshman year, they spend the rest of their high school experience catching up, and you don't want to be in that situation. And luckily, most of our students do not fall into that situation. And I want to encourage you to spend, if you are fairly new or still have questions, definitely spend some time on our website. A place where you can find more information about the program is here, and I'm going to navigate to that place. That is the wrong one. Secondary display. This one. If you can come to this window and spend some time on the presentation itself right here in the middle where it says Google Slides, that is actually the presentation, and it has a lot of hyperlinks that you can follow and learn more about. One of those hyperlinks is scholarship information, which I highly, highly encourage you to look into. Let's see, it's all CVPA stuff. Just to kind of give an overview. So here is a snapshot of scholarship information. And so every student who comes to the program is not going to get a full scholarship, right? But every student who chooses to make that a priority absolutely will. Because if you look, for instance, here, this is the class of 2018, but I have this document for every graduating class. It's just the one, this just happens to be the one that I have linked to the website. And so you have here, let's say this student who's a piano major. Actually, this is Ashley. So Ashley was the young lady that you saw play the piano clip. So this is Ashley, and she went on to do nursing, and she got into every school that she applied to, really. And so here you have, I won't go into every single one of them, but give you an idea. So every once in a while you have like, oh, $156,000, but then right next to a student who was not sure yet at the time that the information was collected. It doesn't mean that they didn't go to college, they just were not sure where they were going to go, and maybe they decided to take a a gap year, which Malia Obama made so famous. I'm so grateful to her for that. Not really. And so, and so this gives you an idea of what's possible. The other thing about this is that it gives students an idea like what schools to apply to, because if you know, for instance, that a student went to Fisk University for vocal music and they gave them this kind of scholarship, then that means that maybe you could apply there if you're a vocal major as well. Okay? So I would encourage you to explore and get to know what's available. Okay, and let me see if there are any more questions in the comments. Are there any more questions in the comments? I don't see any. Okay, I don't see any more questions. So I'm going to return us to main screen, and thank you again for your time. Thank you for considering CVPA. For the next few days, the things to keep in mind. So tomorrow night is the dance concert beginning at 7. If you would like to go and you receive my email, please bring that as your proof of a VIP ticket. And VIP just means you don't pay, so there's no extra accoutrements going on with that, but just it's good for 4 people. And then on Monday is, as I mentioned before, the band concert. Then on Tuesday is the orchestra concert. Then on Wednesday is the chorus and piano concert. And then also tomorrow is also the visual art exhibition opening. But that's going to be open for a while. But the reception will be at 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock? Get it myself. Let me look at this here. Hold on. The reception is at 5:30, and that's also on the website where I just looked at the information. So again, thank you so much for your time. I'm going to say farewell and to thank you again for being so patient, because we did start with a little bit of a hiccup because we had to change locations. And I hope that the information that you heard this evening was helpful to your decision-making process. If you develop any questions sometime after this, please feel free to send me an email. My email, as you know, is msaldana@pgcps.org, and I will reply as soon as I can. If you intend to apply, again, the deadline for application is tomorrow night. I will be sending out an email with a link where you can log in should you develop any questions about the application while you're completing it, in case anyone runs into any trouble. And if you're thinking about it, but you're also thinking about this other program, my recommendation to every student and parent is to apply to everything. Apply to everything that you're really interested in, and then once you have results, make a decision. One of the saddest conversations I have to have each spring with students is, they thought they were going to go after this and they went after that and it didn't work out, but their second choice was this, and can they still apply? And the answer is no, the county just would not allow it. So apply to everything that you're interested in and give yourself the choices. And there was one other thing. Somebody asked a question about recommendations. What do people who fill out recommendations fill out? The answer to that is simple. They get a questionnaire that they complete via the email account that you sent up or that you share on the application. And they provide, I can't give you a sample of that, but it just asks questions about how the student is in class, what do they what recommendation do they give them for their art, something to that effect. Okay, and let's see, let me see if there are any more questions. The question was, can the CVPA majors participate in the IB program? Yes and no. The IB program is not diploma anymore, but we are certificates. So earlier we were speaking to Messiah's mom, and Messiah is actually in an IB class currently. And so students can get a certificate in IB, They can also take multiple AP classes. So highly rigorous classes are available for CVPA students. And again, that's one of the other benefits of the program is that you don't have to sacrifice like your academics for the arts. What else? I don't see any more questions, but I'm going to just kind of leave the transition screen up, and then if anyone has any questions, just put it in the chat, and I will